Thank you. Okay, so seems we can start. Thank you very much for joining. I think this is the last talk of today. And I'm happy you are here. And I'm happy that after this we will have an open talk with beer. So I'm sorry to be in between you and the beer. But still, I hope you will enjoy. This will be a little bit of, how to say, not so serious topic. I would like to talk about bug hunting. This is not a new talk, but last year in Minsk, on the previous SQA Days, I presented bug hunting on a boot camp. People were interested in that, and then I thought that, okay, if there's an interest, why not to present this one here, and a little bit extend what we have achieved since the last time I presented this. My name is Szilard Szell. Currently, I'm living in Finland. I'm originally from Hungary. I'm working for Nokia for the last 19 years, working for Nokia and being a software tester, test manager, test team leader, cross-functional team leader, agile scrum master, process owner, and what else? Kind of many things. I changed. I haven't been in a position more than 2 years. Okay, so 19 years, you can guess. It's quite a lot of things. Now I'm a DevOps change agent. I'm a skilled agile program consultant. Yes, SPC. And I'm a test coach. I'm trying to teach testing inside Nokia and surprisingly outside of Nokia as well. I'm working also for ISTQB. I think you heard about that non-for-profit organization. Until last December, I was the president of the Hungarian testing board. Because we moved with the family to Finland, I said it's time to step down and let the others do that. Now I'm working as a work group chair of one working group in ISTQB. Okay, so because I have just so much time, right? My hobby is also testing and dealing with testing. So kind of my heart is beating for testing, okay? So tomorrow when we are learning together on a Saturday about software testing, that will be just hobby and fun. It's not work, right? Don't tell you to your boss that you want a day back. Okay, on education level, I'm a collector. I'm not only collecting Lego pieces, I'm also collecting certificates. One of the things I'm proud of is the expert level ISTQB, test process improvement. Why I'm proud of that? Because first I failed the exam. So it must be good, right? It's like 8 days training and 2 times 3 hours exam with essay. So it's pretty difficult, but I love it. It's on test process improvement. And last time in Minsk, I presented what we have done, DevOps maturity model, based on that knowledge. So I really think it's a good knowledge and very useful. Erik von Veenendaal is one of the writers of the book and the whole syllabus. Okay, you heard him talk. Good, and just why not? I'm a DevOps DASA, I'm Lean Six Sigma, I'm whatever. So yeah, I have theory knowledge and sometimes I also do practice. Good, but I think that's it about introduction. What is my goal today is something I got also from another presenter as a goal. I want you, okay, not tomorrow, but on Monday, when you go back to work, you start organizing a bug hunting event. Okay? You do bug hunting. That's my goal. And then you report me back in a year how much faults you found. And then we have an impact together. So today we will talk a little bit about exploratory testing, then bug hunting, then how these things fit to DevOps and Scaled Agile framework, just a few words, and then wrap up. But first, talking about Nokia. Nokia as a house of testing. When I went to Nokia in 2000 and started to learn about software testing, all the practices, I didn't know how structured and how well-defined we are. After I went out and seen other organizations, I realized how structured Nokia is. and maybe I can mention after we screwed almost everything in the name of Agile, I realized how structured we were, but it's still there. Nokia, it's Nokia Networks. Okay, not mobile phones, forget about it. We deploy 3G, 4G, 5G, the next generation network as well. It will be complex, it will serve you everywhere, your self-driving car will use 5G. Okay? So if you don't do it well, maybe you end up in a bad situation. In the best case, somewhere else where you want it to go. In the worst case, in the other car. So Nokia Networks is here. It's a big company. 2 years ago, Nokia merged with Alcatel-Lucent. It's like 100,000 people. We have a few testers, right? We have very well written specification, good processes, ISO 9001, TL 9000, whatever you want. Lean Six Sigma as well. And we have complex, high available products to develop. Very complex. 5G is rather complex thingy. High availability, when your system can be down 4 minutes in a year, including time of software upgrade. So when you have a downtime, we played, right, the DevOps game. How was your uptime? Few seconds an iteration. Now here your uptime might be 99999. So 5 nines. It's pretty difficult. It's really, really hard to reach. So that's kind of the setup. This is where we are. In this, we use a lot of different test design techniques. You know all these? I don't need to go through, right? Every one of them is known by you. Defect-based techniques, taxonomies. Specification-based black box techniques. Equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis. I'm not walking through them. Structure-based and white box techniques. Statement testing, decision, path, linear code sequence, and jump. That took me 2 weeks to learn. Linear code sequence and jump. And experience-based techniques. Now with experience-based, we have error guessing, checklist-based testing, exploratory testing, and attacks. So let's talk about exploratory testing. What is it? Let's explain a little bit exploratory testing. I'll give you one definition, right? Just one, because there's many. Exploratory testing can be described as a goal-oriented wandering. I love that. It's so romantic. Goal-oriented wandering. You have a mission or a goal. It's described in a charter. That's actually your documentation, the charter itself. There are no planned routes. You know what you want to cover. It's like test ideas that you want to cover. It's test conditions that you want to cover, okay? You start from a selected point. I mean, like your system has a state. Then from there you go and wander around. You create a charter describing what and how to test and actually how long. So there is also a time limit. Exploratory testing is an interactive process of concurrent product exploration, test design, and test execution. To the extent that the next test we do is influenced by the result of the last we did, we are doing exploratory testing. Okay, I wanted to read this because this came from James Bach. This is one very clear definition of exploratory testing. So, do you understand now? Sure? Okay, let me give you an example. Beautiful city of Barcelona. When I prepared for the first of this presentation, we were in Barcelona with my family. And I kind of realized what is goal-oriented wandering. Right? You have a city map. We lived at La Mercè, whatever my English, Spanish is not good, and we wanted to get to the Plaza de Catalunya. Google told me this is the fastest route, actually gave me a few options. Now the city you can think as your problem area, your system. You can go around the city, the streets and look how your system works, right? There are many multiple ways to go through your system. So Actually, we wanted to get there, but we also identified a couple of interest points in the city. It's like you identify in your testing, the test charter, what are the things that you want to check for, right? So what we did, because the target is somewhere there, so we start going to another direction. We went somewhere, we checked those things. It's like walking through the route. In exploratory testing, it's like you test some of the functionality. You get to a point, you look around what you can do, and you change your route. Okay? Changing and getting, after a while, closer to your first interest point. So this is what we did. We got there, so with the family, we spent some time looking around this place. It's like you got to some new features and you wanna explore that. Or you go and start to play with boundary values or something else. So you spend little time in here. It was done, so let's go on. And actually, there was something, it was not on our plan. We didn't want to go there, but while we were walking, exploring the city, we realized how nice it is. So we spent some time in an area that was not planned up front. Why not? It's about exploration, right? Goal-oriented wandering. So actually we did that, we checked the other places as well, we went around, but our time was up. So we decided to skip the last 2 points and then go directly to the last place. And yes, then we got there. My daughter was 4 years old this time and she was like very happily chasing the birds. As she's telling the story, actually the birds were chasing her. Now, another way to think about exploratory testing, and again, my daughter helped with this one. This is the story cube game. Who knows it? Oh, come on, you don't know? You don't play this? Oh, good. So you got 9 cubes, a dice, 9 dice, it says. You roll them, you read the pictogram, and you make up a story. Okay? So I showed this picture to my daughter. We have a couple of these, by the way, and we play a lot. And I asked her to tell a story. Okay, so now I will tell you the story. Once upon a time, there was a flash onto who a fish has moved in to live. The fish has asked the flash, why is there a pyramid behind you? Why are you striking it? He, the flash, said, because an airplane is just going to fly by 200,000 millimeters below us. Then the passengers in the plane asked the pilot, why are we turning all around, left and right? The pilot said, because I'm reading a book. Then the passengers, asked the waitresses, why don't we get something to eat? Because, the waitresses said, a tortoise jumped into the soup. And then the tortoise said, look, the sheep is parachuting out there. Okay, that was my daughter at the age of 7. She's now 9. She's having much better stories now in Hungarian and Finnish as well. It's really exact translation of her story. Does it make sense? Maybe not. Is it fun? Yes, it is. What does it do with exploratory testing? I will tell you. So what you can do, you gather your testers. Customers, business people, whatever. You show them the story cube. You play a little bit, that they get an understanding. Then you start collecting these pictograms. You create your own cubes. You roll the dice. And then you start telling a story. Do you think it works? Here is the 9 dice that my testers did. So they started to say, okay, so cube 1 will be, what is the unit? Now we are talking about telco hardware. It has a lot of different hardware unit types. So is it the statistical unit? Is it the charging unit? Is it whatever? Okay. Then the next one is like the state change. These are high availability systems, so this unit can go down in a graceful shutdown. It can have like working and spare unit changing, so there's a lot of states the unit can be in. It's a real hardware unit. collecting those. Then let's go on with load balancer. Let's go with the crude, like create, read, update, delete thingy. Let's check the outputs. Let's check static analysis. Let's check all the other things our system can do. So now we have a bunch of cubes. Okay, nice. So I asked my testers to roll the dice. It was CMM, 40 switchover, clear code, and A interface. So they come up with that test case. Okay, you don't need to understand the test case. The point is they understood. It was a CMM 40 switchover during traffic. And then we said that our system is running with traffic. There is a working spare CMM unit switch that's running smoothly. And then you initiate a hardware failure, like simulate a hardware failure. So that unit should, the working unit should go down and the spare unit should go up and take over and all these things. You should not lose traffic, and there's a lot of things around this. This is high availability behavior. The point here, just by creating these dices, the cubes, they were able to come up with crazy stories. As crazy stories as my daughter did. Okay, that was a lovely story, right? So this is a way to teach your people, or actually learn together, how to come up with exploratory scenarios that might not make sense. This is just a way, again, gamification, yeah. Playing around a little bit to have fun. The first cube, it was really hard to make. They didn't understand what I want. But after we get in, it was like going. And then, okay, it took us like, I think 1 hour to come up with that table, but then it was really fun. And they liked it a lot. And if you have a chance to create physically the dice, it works. But you can download the software as well and do that. There are StoryCube softwares, and you can put your pictogram there. So actually, you can pretty easily create your own stuff here. Another way to teach exploratory testing or to do, and that was another team with whom I started the BugHunting in the very beginning. They made this presentation, this slide, and said that this is our way of doing exploratory testing. So what do we see here? There's a traditional path on the right. When you set up your system under test, you do an execution and you say that the result is okay or not okay, right? And then the exploratory path, they said we set up our system, but you might already do some abnormal setup. Some configurations are missed, something is not there. Some features are not configured well on purpose. And you do abnormal conditions in variables, so something which should not be there. You delete some files, you destroy something. Now, this typically happens when you have a team. One guy is preparing the configuration and not telling to the other one what he did. And then the other comes and starts to execute maybe the same test cases as were scripted. Let's check what happens. Let's check how the system actually behaves, how stable it is. Will it fail immediately? How it will fail? Will you be able to understand what's wrong? Will the system tell you that, hey, I'm missing this configuration? Other thing is simultaneous test events. So while one guy is running the execution, the event, the other is doing something in the back. Again, we are playing with big hardwares. Somebody goes there and unplug the cable, or just shut down some systems. If you are talking about cloud, do you know it's the chaos monkey doing this for you? Or the chaos gorilla, switching off complete infrastructures or virtual machines. It's like automated exploratory testing a little bit. So you can distract the system under test and you can modify configuration why the other guy doesn't know it. And then you discuss and then you see how the system behaves. So again, just another way to learn exploratory testing, to learn different things, different ways. Now with, again, high availability system, it is a must that the system tells you what's wrong, when it's wrong. So it's not bad if your system is well documented and communicating. Okay, so now you have a little idea about exploratory testing, a few ways of approaching it. Now let's build on top of that and do bug hunting. I heard Klaus Olsen's presentation 2013 in Helsinki. He told me, I want you to do bug hunting. I'm telling you, I want you to do bug hunting. I went back to the team and I started bug hunting. And ever since that, this is a practice in Nokia. We do a lot of bug hunting now. Actually, we have saved more than €1 million with bug hunting, if you count the cost of the fault, right? How is it? Cost of fault avoidance? Avoiding the cost of fault, whatever you understand. So when you can do bug hunting, when a new release is out, before you release it, it's good to do a bug hunting just to measure the temperature, right? Okay, now everything say we can release. All the scripted tests are done. Everybody is happy. Let's do a bug hunting. Do you think there are surprises there? Probably yes. But at least the type of surprises, how serious those surprises are, will give information to management. Are we really ready to deploy, to release the software or not? Now this can be also an entry criteria for a testing phase. If we are still like phase testing, or even I would say that in CI, you can put this as an activity. CI is running automated tests, but you are also running the bug hunting there. And last but not least, this is like team motivation. You are doing testing all the time in iterations, continuously, 4 years, 4 months, for whatever. Is it boring? Maybe yes. Maybe your task is to run the regression testing. Still manually because we had never time to automate them. Never happened, right? So maybe it's good to stop and play around a little bit. Do some team building, do some bug hunting even, just to cheer the teams up. Okay? So bug hunting can be used in several ways. Now, what do you have for bug hunting? What do you need? The way we did was, we got 4 teams. Why 4? Why not? We got 4 teams, 4 systems. Every team started on one system, and we had 4 sessions. The system under test was not similar. So we did one round, then a rotation. Another round, then a rotation. So everybody had the chance to use every system under test for a hunting session. We spent 45 minutes 4 times. I asked the team to set scope of hunting up front. So think a little bit what would be your scope. Remember, point of interest in Barcelona. Where do you want to go? What are the things that you want to see? Okay. Now, then, within these 45-minute sessions, you apply exploratory testing. Wander around, kill the system in beautiful ways. There is a chat tool that is needed that as soon as you found something, you share that with the others. So actually people will get an idea. They will get additional ideas from your session. So for example, some team shared that, hey, this is what we found, strange logs. So the other team jumped there and started to dig very much deeply into the logging. So chat tool is good. Now we need a referee and a coach. Some guy who is going there and checking that what you found and report as a bug, actually you report it as an issue because we don't know if it's a bug. Okay? There was not analysis done, no checking. So you go there and referee is quickly checking, or is it a known bug already or not? And why do we need this? Because at the end, you give a little prize for the winner. You know, the best team, the best bug, the most stupid bug, the most whatever. The point is, at the end, everybody got some chocolate, okay? Now, in Hungary, you should play with beer. Is it vodka here? Palinka works as well, our Hungarian spirit. But it's chocolate, right? Okay. We gave this little poster as well, this little certificate of Mr. Perfect Bug Hunter, whatever. And after 2 years, I went around. The teams moved to new tables, and I saw guys are putting up this little certificate still on the wall. It had a value, because it had no value, right? It had an emotional value. So how do you do bug hunting, step by step? You define preconditions for the bug hunting, your scope, you collect the known issues, you define what are the boundaries, what are the environments you will be able to use. So it's like preparing. This needs preparation, actually. By the way, we did bug hunting like Hungary, Finland at the same time, communication through WebEx. It worked perfectly. So you can do it even remotely. So after you defined, you go for hunting. You use the possible methods or the exploratory ways, techniques to go for the hunting itself. You inform the other teams as soon as you find a bug about what was it, a little bit of a description of the issue, and then maybe logs. Then the judge is actually making a decision, the referee, the judge, that what is really a bug, what is not. Maybe something is already found. Now this is when you give the prize as well. Then you need to go and analyze what you found. You need to reproduce. You need to take all the logs. You need to go to development and present it. Or you do it together with them, by the way. I saw that roughly half of those issues are really faults. And not everything is A class, B class, C class, so like not a critical blocker. So some of these that you found will be like, yeah, we know, we don't care. But trust me, you will find some very nice ones there. At the end, you need to give a report, management report about the cost saving, okay? You spent a day just having chocolate and fun. You need to get something back to management. By the way, we were very loud here because the inform session happened with a big horn. And the others came there, what the heck are you doing? I mean, we are having bug hunting. Stop it. Why? It's loud. Yeah. When you hear that sound, that's when we broke your system. It feels good. We extended the bug hunting. One colleague of mine came from Bell Labs, Nokia Bell Labs. He's a reliability engineer. He's focusing on reliability and robustness. Now, we invited him to give a training on robustness. And we said, okay, it's so good, you learn everything on robustness, all the details, all the theory, everything, right? Who cares? But then after the training we said, before we already said, next day we will do a bug hunting. You can apply all you learned. You can't break your system or other system. Actually, there was a big team, 20 people from the whole organization, and they broke the system, each other's system. It was so fun. People loved it so much. Immediately they understood what they learned. And then we shared the very nasty reliability faults. I'm not telling you. We found something like, oh my God. Now we built on top of that even more. And the third day now is a DFMEA, Design Failure Mode and Effect Analysis workshop. So after you learned about what could go wrong in theory, after you broke the system, you come up with new failure modes. And you do all that really heavy process of DFMEA. Trust me, this works. These 3 days work so good. We did already at least 8 sessions in different countries, and you see the numbers that we had a couple of hundred participants. Now this was 2017. Since that, we even did it with our customers. And when I'm talking about customer, it's Vodafone. It's TMO. Together in their lab. Okay, that's transparency, right? You go there and say that, you know what? Let's break our system together. Oh, they loved it. We too. We had some work after that. Now, some misuse that you should not do with bug hunting. Negative scoring as a punishment for not following the rules. I saw in some country, they said, okay, we will do bug hunting, but if you are reporting a fault that it's really correction not needed, you will get -2 points. I mean, guys, do you understand gamification? It's motivation, the whole thing. So please. Hunting session takes a month. So the idea was that, oh, the guy who found the most bugs in 2 months will get a prize. Again, I mean, do you understand what I'm talking about? It's a team event. 2 hours, 3 hours, gathering, get together. Using only pre-automated test cases. So somebody told me, yeah, but we are automated 100%, so you need to pre-automate your bug hunting. Really? Do you understand what I'm talking about when I say exploratory testing? Automate, right, up front. Connect real incentive to results. Please don't give money or say that your bonus is based on, okay? No. And the last one, I love. This was, of course, the engineers. They came in. You know, I already have 10 bugs in my pocket. In the last 2 weeks, I didn't report any of them. Is that good? The guy didn't get a chocolate. So bug hunting is fun. It should be like that. It's really about team building and making it fun. Don't take it too seriously. Now, how does it fit in DevOps and exploratory and other things? Oh, this is DevOps. What is DevOps? It's a Lego game, right? DevOps is when you combine development and operations, and these guys are working together to continuously deliver value to the end user. Continuously value. Oh, we had these DevOps games. What was the amount of value delivered? Not too much. We did a simulation game. Even in DevOps, we say automate everything. I mean, even in DevOps, you can have bug hunting. Even we say automate everything. DevOps is very much building on automation. It's very much building on automated everything, right? But still, remember, automation gives time for more exploratory testing. That's how you should use it. As a tester, that's my message. Where you can use it? Of course, in the test phase. But where else? In operations. Go out, do it with your customer. Try to kill the system. Why Amazon has Chaos Monkey in live? It's doing automatic bug hunting all the time. Switching up the things and seeing how reliable and robust is that. We did that with customers, as I said. Together the bug hunting in their staging environment. Okay, it was not operations, but from us it was already the customer. Based on, for example, hardness of troubleshooting. We had no idea how to troubleshoot that issue. We identified testability improvements, improvement in the logging system. Okay, a lot of things that you actually bring back to the planning phase. So you can learn about your product a lot with bug hunting. Who knows Scared Agile framework? Quite a few hands. This is a way of scaling Agile up to a large organization. This is kind of the smallest configuration when you have multiple Scrum teams working together in a so-called release train. Now the point here is for us the most important, that there are iterations. You see these vertical lines, those are iterations. In every iteration, the team works on delivering some user stories, integrated together as a system, and then have that shipped, even deploy it to production, or in SAFe you can deploy later as well. Actually, SAFe is saying that you release on demand. Management makes a decision when you release, meaning that your trunk quality, the quality of your code must be always production ready. Okay? So here you can apply exploratory testing inside the iteration. Fits very well there. into the next one as well, into the next one as well, into the next one as well. Now there is a special iteration in Scaled Agile Framework. It is called IP iteration. It's the innovation and planning iteration. Innovation and planning. This is to stop a little bit and learn, for example. It's to look back. It has a lot of things there, but this is where you can apply bug hunting. So what is IP iteration? From the Scaled Agile Framework definitions, and pick the few words here. Provides dedicated time for innovation and continuing education. It is for exploration. It is for cross-training to develop skills in new domains. So now when you do bug hunting, do you think you learn new domains? Yes, sure. With the team, you pair up with the coders, with the testers, with the architects, with whoever, even with the customer, and you learn a lot. So it's a good point here. Team building is part of the IP iteration. So even the Scaled Agile is saying that you need to do team building. And bug hunting is team building, right? Why don't we do it here? Let's do it. Pair working is also in the IP iteration. So I believe it fits perfectly. I saw many presentations saying actually that do exploratory testing in the last IP iteration. So, what do you think? I believe bug hunting helps testers to look out of the box. Sit down and think a little bit differently for that day. It improves the team spirit and the expertise. But it needs to be planned upfront because it requires resources, it will be noisy. Your management has to say that, yes, you will work. I had one question from a manager. They looked the inflow of thoughts. There was a peak. What on earth you did there? I said, bug hunting. Stop doing it. It's good that you tell it upfront that, hey, there will be probably a peak. The event needs preparation and time to analyze the issues, right? So you need to work with that and plan with that. It is a good complementing of requirement-based testing. I'm not saying instead, especially not saying in Nokia, okay? You have a lot of requirement-based testing, but bug hunting complements it a lot. It can even fit to DevOps and Scaled Agile Framework. There is the space for that as well. And last but not least, it's just fun. So I hope you will start doing bug hunting, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you very much. And I have voucher for the best questions. I know you would not ask questions otherwise. Yes?
I wonder, did you use James Whittaker tools in your bug hunting games?
James Whittaker's. Did we use James Whittaker's tools in the bug hunting games? Probably not. Or probably yes. Let me. Of course, unintentionally. Is that a good answer? Better. I'm not aware of this. Maybe yes. Okay. I'm really not aware of that. I didn't read. I know it's a homework for me, but you have to promise that you do bug hunting. Yeah. Oh my. Okay.
It means, hello, it means that all the people from the team should know the business logic, the business of the application, right? Or
This we did in a system verification team. They knew, But then we did it in a team which was more functional testing. So they didn't know everything, but they focused on the functionality. I think you can do it on any level, any layer. It depends where you hunt for.
Okay.
Right? Okay. The other question is like, is it a surprise that people should know their system?
Yes, exactly. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, 2 questions, 3 questions.
Thank you for the presentation. I think that BugHunting also is very good idea for selecting new members from junior testers in project, and it's a high play, and after this play we can understood what a person have knowledge, can find bugs, and we can hunt, hunt in our project. It's not only team building, it's also the first step in hiring.
I told not to put incentive on this, so it might be, difficult that you put the incentive of I'm hiring you or not. But the idea is good that actually you can also get some newcomers in the team and check them, or like really inviting, and then one day of your hiring process is like we are doing a bug hunting and let's see the guys how they think. I like that. Let's do.
One question. Is it possible that some developer know some issues and don't write bug, but sell this information to your friends for they can find it and get a prize?
I mean, if you do that for a chocolate,
maybe it's
sure.
More than chocolate.
We are talking about engineers, right?
Yeah.
So
some internal engineers know some problems. Maybe he can do it.
That's why I'm saying this is a game. It shouldn't be too serious. Otherwise, people start to cheat. So no, please don't put real incentive and keep it as a fun factor. Otherwise, you will have exactly that. That's not the point. It's like KPIs. I told the guys that, I want that KPI green. What happened? I got it green. Did I solve the problem? No. But they made the script that made the KPI green. So that's like engineers. Yeah, but this, keep it, that's what I'm saying. Never, ever put incentive on this. Never. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going back and I'm thinking of to start a bug hunting event, okay? And how will I get my boss to actually accept this?
We saved €1 million.
Yeah, but
what's the cost of the fault? So what's a cost of a fault that is not found by you, by the customer? Do you know that number?
No.
Do you know how many effort you put in maintenance? Can you calculate that this is the monthly fault amount that we are doing, this is the amount of people, that's the hourly rate. You can calculate that.
So basically, I should provide him or numbers.
You need
statistics.
to talk his language. It's euro. There was first here, then there, and then there, and then there. Oh my God, I love this.
I have a question. So, for example, if there's one company and several teams that work on like one big product that includes several services, and each team is like not really familiar how to, deal with some other's team, features. What will be your advice for those who are making preparations for the bug hunts, like how to make everyone understand what they're doing?
Do you want them to break all the systems? So like
yeah, but sometimes
team A is breaking team's B system or testing it?
Yeah.
Because, for example, what we did is totally different people working on totally different products. They came in and we asked them to mix a few members. So like a team of 5 and 2 guys went to another team. So mix that a little bit and then rotating those guys. So you don't expect them to understand the system upfront, but they can challenge. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? And again, surprising that those guys, outsiders, how much they can break the system or suggest things. Well, let me tell you just, sorry, before the question, one surprising thing. A product that was not even developed by us, external product, we are selling it as part of our solution. They wanted to do some strange things, so they logged in as admin from this console. Then they logged in as admin with the same password from this console. Then they logged in as third person, again with the same admin right. Now this guy said, okay, restart the system. System was asking that guy, are you sure? He was like, yeah, sure. You restarted a system which you had no idea why you do that. Now in telecom that means, ouch, no one calls nobody for the next, I don't know, 4 hours. And honestly, for these kind of things, you don't need to know the system. You must, how to say, you are creatively destructive. Out of the box, and you want to kill the system. So again, use as much knowledge as you have. Because it's a game, you don't want to have hundreds of hours preparation. Keep it as simple as possible, but give the chance to learn. Is that a good answer? Yes. No.
Question:
yes.
How we can convince our management that it's bug hunting is something positive?
Should I call him?
What?
Should I call him?
No, thanks. I mean, this is activity which help us, but from management perspective, it's something which our QA team miss when normally testing activity, and maybe our development team is also not as good as he thought before because of a number of many of bugs.
Also, would you reveal information?
What?
You would reveal information about the quality of the product?
No, yeah,
That might
I know
be scary.
that it's a positive thing, yeah, but for management, I mean, and for the whole team which participate in this activity, it's something with fair that something revealed with previously it was something internal, how we found, how many we found, and now it's revealing like, wow, some testing activity previously was prepared, but it reveals that a lot of bugs still there. So thanks.
So back to DevOps and continuous deployment. Fail fast, fail often, and celebrate failure. Now, if this is not there, maybe bug hunting is hard to do. Because what you will see, failure, a lot. Are you able to learn from it? Are you able to fix it? Is it a bug that you remove and not the customer will tell you? Our customer fault costs more than 11,000 euro. One. That's the cost of removing a customer fault. So if I find it in-house, that's 1,000 euro. It depends on the testing phase. Now, which one do you want to spend? The 1,000 or the 11,000? I mean, yes, you can feel bad that someone is coming there and saying that actually your testing was not good, so I improve it. Your code was not good? Yes, I know. Now I can improve it. Without this, you don't know. I'm happy. I have no idea how bad I am. I'm happy. So, if you are convinced, convince your management. Take the numbers. You really need to have the numbers there. Show them, we spend these couple of hours, it will be instead of a retrospective or somewhere, when anyway there is a little bit of time to do that. Now, please don't do this before release, okay? They will hate you. Do it a few weeks before release, okay? So they still have time to catch up.
Due to lack of time, I'll take 2 quick questions. Okay.
Pick me, pick me, pick me.
Sorry, that person was the first one.
In the meantime, I'm giving you one because my answer was not good enough, so I'm sorry for that.
Yeah. First of all,
I still have one.
That's my question. Can I get the t-shirt, please?
You had that question in the morning already, so.
so actually, first of all, thank you for a really inspiring talk. So I had a chance to participate in such an event once, and it was really, really good. So thank you for promoting that. And you told lots of really positive stories about positive effect on the systems that are tested, right?
Because I'm not telling you the best stories, right?
Yep. And have you got any practical examples of positive changes in the process? Because at Nokia, you are a highly regulated company, as I can assume. So sometimes missed bugs are not because of the bad development, but by some omissions in the process. So maybe you can give some examples on how you prevented bugs by your events. Thank you.
Okay. Difficult question. First of all, it's always the process. Okay? If you had bad development, it doesn't mean it's a bad developer. It means bad hiring process or bad education process. It's always the process. If you don't keep the process because you are in a rush, then it's still the process of not keeping the process. Okay? So if you check any improvement, it always say go to the root cause, do the 5i analysis, go down and solve the root cause, not the symptom. Now that was not an answer to your question probably. But negative and what we changed, let me think. Reliability. I told that first we started with a theoretical training. Then we put the bug hunting there. Then we brought the bug hunting to I don't know how many countries, really around the world, hundreds of people. We brought that to the customer. A very big manager told this, he loves the bug hunting, he wants to do it with customer. Now, without his support, he was leader of 6,000 people. So pretty high. Without his support, you couldn't go there. But he said, we do. Aren't you ashamed? No. So that was a change. And then now where we are is actually we have a common KPI or following up test cases created for negative scenarios. I'm not happy about that, but that's the way you make it systematic in the system. That now everybody needs to do all the test cases, 15% of all the test cases should be related to negative. Is that a success story? Is that process improvement? I think so. Yes.
I have 2 questions, yeah. Can I get the t-shirt, please? And can we go out?
I have 2 answers, no and yes.
For which question?
In the